Hi, welcome to our Metal Reactions channel. I'm Brad.
I'm Alena.
Quick plug for Shayne Capazorio, who did our intro video and channel branding. If you need some graphic design work done for yourself, you can find his contact details in the description below.
If you would like us to react to any song of your choosing, then check out our Patreon tiers in the description below and see which fits for you.
So we are back to some Opeth.
Also my request.
yeah. Alena's pulled another executive order today and we're doing Opeth.
I'm just feeling powerful today.
But that's good. It means you enjoyed last time. Last time we did Harlequin Forest. That's what it's called? Harlequin Forest, yeah. So anecdotally, I just went through the comments from the last video to see what seemed to be the most requested video, and Ghost of Perdition was it. So we had Guitarist, Brandon T, ASD848, Tonic, Queen's Knight, Erkan something.
You're not good at this.
Fajar Prawira, Cobra Kai, and Jablin. So there'll now be an Opeth playlist. So if you want to go watch all our Opeth reactions in order, you can go click on that. I didn't know which version to go for, whether to go for this live Red Rock Amphitheatre or just the studio version. But last time we had so much fun with the live version and his little stand-up comedy routine. I mean, I don't anticipate we'll get a stand-up routine for every video.
I hope we will.
I don't know. I guess if we're gonna get another one with a stand-up routine, best you let us know which are the good videos to react to for that.
We can just watch the cuts from the concert with
yeah.
the stand-up comedy part.
Yeah. Someone actually posted I think it was a Loudwire link that's sort of like a clip of all his stand-up comedy pieces.
And you didn't let me see that? Oh my god. That's so unfair.
Saving it for here. Let's see what we have. Needless to say, you don't know the song. I don't know if I know the song or not yet. Opeth is around enough that I may have heard it somewhere, but I don't know yet. Let's see. I love you, Michael.
Devil cracked the earth, he shone for told you was the one. You walked down to the room and said you had to live before you die. Devil cracked the earth, he shone for told you was the one. You walked down to the room and said you have to live before you die.
not going to find anywhere good to pause. It's impossible.
I thought you forgot about it.
I did. There was a moment where I was like, oh, this would be a good spot. And then it was gone. And then 2 minutes later, I was back in the song and I'd forgotten. What do you think?
It's like there's like many voices. Like different people are singing different parts.
I think there is someone else singing as well. There was a time when someone was singing like clean,
And his voice was
and his mouth was like all closed. Yeah.
I was also a bit surprised. I was like, well, how is it happening?
I think someone else in the band is doing vocals with him. Maybe the guy that was up at the top. I don't know if there was keyboards or again, Epica. I couldn't see exactly. I'll need to actually pay attention to who that was. But I seem to remember a guy standing higher up that was singing as well. I could be wrong.
Interesting.
And what else?
I find like the melody a bit jazzy, especially at the beginning, and that part that he sang like "Devil Cracked the Earthly Shell." It was like very jazzy to me.
It's like weird, like up down, like all over the place. It's not smooth in traditional sense. It's just,
I don't know how to describe it. Just this film.
it feels like
Yeah, like it's like short ending.
Yeah.
Like very sharp.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, the guitars are good.
Mm-hmm.
As always.
In the beginning, when it was like heavy for an extended period of time, I was like, ooh, I don't know how you're gonna feel about this because it's just all sort of heavy. But then it was just the pacing of the song. It's a 9-minute song or whatever. So then after that, they had an extended, lighter period as well. And I'm glad they brought that balance into the song.
Yeah, I want to know how it ends. enjoy it. I think like their music is super creative, especially the guitar parts. It's just changes so much, and I don't know. I like all of it.
So I haven't heard the song before, at least not to memory. What I was thinking going through this is, I think a song like this is quite a difficult first listen because it's not conventionally catchy in many places. I mean, it does have some hooks, but I think this is the kind of song where, you know, every time you listen to it, you'll just like it exponentially more and more and more, because there's just so much to grasp.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because it's sort of like everything doesn't fall nicely into one picture because it's just too much like to form this view maybe. Yeah,
and like that sort of jazzy edge you were discussing where it's not like the smooth transition between everything where it's just immediately makes sense. I think it'll make sense, but only after a while.
Well, I mean, I still enjoy it. It is still nice, only probably by the end of the song I wouldn't remember what was at the beginning because it's just, you know, all over the place. It's not like this catchy melody that you can you know, get in 4 notes and
His vocal performance for me is really impressive because he's got such great tone and like
of several voices.
Well, when we're just talking him, we'll get to the so there was the keyboarder singing. He was also great, by the way. Now that I paid attention to him, he was also great.
but still, I mean, he was changing from harsh to like semi-harsh and then to completely soft. And he wasn't even sweating. I was like, this guy, he didn't even move. He was just standing in one place, like lazily playing.
Just chilled.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so his like lightest voice has such a warmth to it, like almost like a sweetness to it. It's very strange because then when he goes to his deep, like it's a very deep growl. It's a particularly deep growl. So the fact that he can just go between these two extremes.
Yeah, so easily, like that.
Yeah, so
that's super cool.
Yeah, I find his vocal performance very impressive. Never mind all the the rest of the instruments and the musicianship of crafting this whole epic song together. So yeah, just very impressive piece of music. Like ambitious.
That's the right word. Impressive.
Anything else to add instrumentally?
No, my small mind is not able to understand the complexity of it.
Yeah, me too. I mean, we've done quite a lot of proggy type stuff on this channel, and I mean they're all difficult to grasp on a first listen, but even so, they're still even the bits that you can get, they're still really entertaining. You know, you can appreciate even on a surface level just how immensely talented these people are.
Yeah, it's just really, sometimes it's just killing me that like it is so impressive but I can't find words to describe because like music is probably the most how to say, like an unfamiliar art to me because I don't play music myself, so it's really hard for me to describe it, to find the words to describe it. You can just feel that it's super nice, but how to put it in words?
Yeah,
I know difficult.
I know what you mean. For me as well, because like for me, listening to music has mostly been a personal experience. The majority of listening to music in my life has just been me alone with earphones listening to music. So you never had to describe it to someone. It's just you felt what you felt, and you never had to label your feelings while you're listening to this music. It just does to you what it does to you in the end. So it is a bit of a weird thing to have to now go and put words to these feelings, and in your case in second language.
Yes.
So it's a fair point. Lyrically. No,
that was super complicated too because it's like this. I don't know. Was it? Is it Old English or?
Yeah, even me reading this, even as a English first language speaker, it's like got a very old English style to it that's difficult to follow. It's not like nicely punctuated flowing sentences where everything just flows from one piece to another and it's like this easy to comprehend story.
Yeah, it's like a ballet, maybe. Ballad. That is...
Ballad?
Ballad, yes, that's the right word. Performed by traveling musicians, traveling artists. And while singing it, they would also be performing it in some kind of artistic costumes, like a small theater or something like that.
Yeah, and I think that's... Well, I mean... I can't really say it's a trademark because we're 2 songs in, but at least a commonality from what I've picked up is although being modern, they have this very, very old feel to everything. Like it feels like the lyricism feels centuries old. Mm-hmm. And even the atmosphere, like the feeling that the music invokes with its atmosphere, with the keyboards and the way that everything builds together, it doesn't feel like a 2020 or 20th or 21st century piece of music. It deliberately feels like some old classical piece. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure one, if not multiple of them, are classically trained. So it would make sense. I'd be surprised if those guys aren't classically trained with the type of music they're writing. Yeah. And I think that definitely comes through not only in the music but in the lyricism as well, which is then a nice congruence between the two.
Yes.
Any idea what it means? I've got a few ideas.
Well, it's definitely a story. It feels like a story on the deathbed.
Yeah, I was getting the same.
And about a woman.
Specifically a mother, perhaps.
Yeah, but it's mother with a capital letter. So it's not like, any mother. I was even thinking maybe it's like, some biblical character like Maria Magdalena or something.
You mean Mother Mary?
I guess.
I don't know. I personally wasn't getting biblical sense out of it. It's not to say that I'm right. So do you wanna take us through your thought process, or shall I go through mine?
Okay. Well, what gave me actually the biblical sense is that, at the end, when it was saying to see a beloved son in despair of what's to come. And it seems like this version of events is sort of an alternative version. So because everything, it's even called Ghost of Perdition, and I think throughout the song you get this sort of vagueness of events, like you're looking at something through the fog. Mm-hmm. And I think like the central piece, so it starts with the mother being on the deathbed, supposedly, like black strands on the pillow. I would say it's her hair, twisted face upon the head, and then I think it goes somewhere in the past, and we sort of see through the fog or through her retelling that story of her youth, I think. Like it's really hard to grasp what specifically it's telling. So there are kind of like words that sort of signify what happened, like a tragic friendship. So there was someone, and then there is still again fog, and then brew deceiving, which actually gives me like some idea of witchcraft there. And because there is witchcraft, there is a devil that made some kind of a prediction for her, and sort of directed her fate. So you have to live before you die young, and then there is some picture of her like fighting against the evil, and being sort of possessed by the devil or some evil force. because it says holding her down and channeling darkness and hemlock for the gods' fading resistance. So basically trying to get her away from the gods and from the light, and stealing her force and like making her submit into darkness. And then there is another encounter with a hunter.
This is going places.
This is all very like vague, but you know, it's kind of like you're watching, you know, like in the movies they show something in the on the surface of the brew, or you know.
Yeah.
So these are just scenes that are a bit disconnected between each other, and they
fever dream.
Yeah, and you don't really know whether they're talking about the future or the past and what they really mean. So maybe they're not even like the reality, but some kind of a metaphor for reality. So to me, the song also has this kind of feeling of vagueness and of escaping. Like the reality escapes her mind, probably.
Okay, so intentionally disconnected and seemingly all over the place.
Yes. And then it sort of jumps probably back to this current situation with the deathbed. Well, it looks like this end is inevitable, and that's why her son appears who is in despair. But then I suppose the idea of this whole song is in the last verse, when it talks about the morals and the victims and the prey, and it sort of I think talks about her not being responsible maybe for her actions because she got into this devilish power and she was influenced by that, and that's why you can't blame the victim. And if things were different, like when it says if one cut the source of the flow and everything would change, so if things would go other way and she wouldn't sort of gotten crossed with those evil forces, then she wouldn't become like that sinful person maybe. So you can't really blame her for ending like that because it wasn't her choice.
Okay.
That was really hard.
Yeah, no, it is. My second train of thought I had is somewhat in the ballpark of what you were talking about.
Okay.
The first thought I had, agree there's a mother on a bed dying or dead. Now, when it said, so it talked about this ghost of perdition, and then it talked about being stuck in her chest, a warning no one read. When I read that, I thought, could this be some sort of illness? So it's a story written as a metaphor to explain, like, potentially his mother on her deathbed suffering from, I don't know, cancer, something like that, whatever the case may be. And going along some sort of story like that, where it's all just metaphor for that, like his perhaps way of dealing with that. But then the more it went on, I got more away from that sort of like lifelike scenario, and I was thinking, well, I mean, from the very little we know of Opeth, it seems to be very narrative. Like these are all fantasies, well, not all, again, small sample size, but it's been fantasy stories to date, or some like in the comment section we saw previously someone was explaining some like massive concept art story interlinking songs and stuff like that. So now, getting away from that, I'm wondering if this is more just a normal sort of fantasy type story, or horror type story more specifically. And so where you were talking about possible ties to religion, I was thinking maybe just more like being possessed. So maybe this mother has been possessed, and this whole happening that goes on through here is a demon or a spirit or something like that has taken control of her. So that's a lot of what you were saying is not a very big jump between those two trains of thought. You can draw a lot of parallels between the two. Part of the way through, I started to think, I wonder, is the sun to blame for something here?
He's just appearing in one line. How do you blame poor person?
Because it feels like the mother is hanging around to haunt him.
Because she's a ghost.
Ghost, lingering death. Now, I mean, why does a ghost hang around? A ghost hangs around, I mean, assuming this is real, from fiction, why does a ghost hang around? Not in real life, why does a ghost hang around?
Yeah, let's go to science field.
Science dictates that a ghost will hang around when something it either needs to seek revenge.
Oh, really?
Yes. Or it
need glasses here.
Or it has some sort of unresolved matter. There's something is not fulfilled in its life.
Okay.
So, I'm wondering, did the son do something bad? Why is mother hanging around?
That now moves into the detective's field.
You should have come up with this theory.
Yeah,
you're the one that loves his unsolved murder mysteries. I'm wondering if the son did something wrong here.
Well, maybe you're right, because in the beginning it doesn't say that the mother is on the bed, it's the ghost of mother. And ghost and mother is bad. But then ghost of perdition stuck in her chest. If she's already a ghost, how there's another ghost?
Well, that's why I was like, my original thought of like being possessed or something like that, I was thinking the ghost of perdition being some sort of demon or evil spirit or something had possessed her. That's where I got that from. I don't know. We have some vague ideas that if you tie them all together might loosely be vaguely correct. Or not at all.
Maybe. So if his mother was possessed and then, this curse moved on to him, and now, because there is, ghost of perdition stuck in her chest, so maybe there is another person, like a she person, and this sort of son is hurting someone, and that's why the ghost appears.
The two lines that throw me is keeper of holy hordes, keeper of holy whores. Firstly, very cool how they wrote that.
Okay.
But who's calling their mother a whore?
Well, that's definitely not related to mother. I think this part actually shows like how thin is the difference between good or bad. So because like ghost of perdition is like a bad thing, and then a saint's premonition is actually a good thing, but how do you separate between two? And then there is such a thin line between, keeper of holy hordes, keeper of holy hordes. It even sounds the same. So that's why I was like, I was having this idea that the whole song is maybe about how hard it is to identify who to blame, that you can't blame someone who is also a victim.
We have many more questions and answers.
Yeah.
If you came here for a nice, clear, concise, assertive...
It means that it's just a good poetry. I mean, and it's really hard to read poetry in foreign language, I would say.
Well, it's not my foreign language, it's your foreign language.
Come on, I found the explanation and now you just throw it away.
An explanation that suits you and you alone.
You just didn't have to mention anything.
And all our friends from Norway, etc. I've got no excuse.
I don't know. Why do you not know what it means?
Because I wasn't alive in the 16th century to speak like this.
Just, read more of Shakespeare.
Okay.
Train yourself.
Okay. Easy.
Okay.
Or just go Google on the internet what it means.
No, that's a bad idea. Because you'll get all kinds of wrong ideas.
Yeah, that's true. I can remember, going back years in the past and you go, what does this song mean? Google, and everyone has a completely different opinion on what that means. And some, it's like, I don't know what the song means, but I know it's not that.
That's the most valuable piece of information, no doubt. Yeah, I think we got what we could from this.
Yeah.
We could continue rambling for for an hour.
The floor is yours. Please educate us. What does this mean?
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed.
Yeah, we'll see you again soon for some more Opeth, but other songs as well.
Thank you for watching.
Thanks.